Oh God, okay. Where did you have that done? Quick, sugar, yes.
Right, okay, I think we're about to start now.
Right. Thank you for coming in. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. My name is Tariq Mahmood. I'm the Vice Chair of the Havering Interfaith Forum. This week is National Interfaith Week, so we're going to have our fun quiz today, and there is a trophy up for grabs for the person who gets, or the table that gets the high scores. Yes, ooh, I wonder which table will get that. So on each table we have a representative from the Havering Interfaith Committee, and that will be the person who will take the trophy. And we'll have a food break about halfway through the evening. A speaker and organizer for the evening is Mrs. Sidra Naeem. Sidra is a qualified teacher and has been a religious education coordinator for the last, for over 20 years, teaching 7 religions at the primary stage, including Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism and Humanism. She is also one of the representatives on the SACRE Standing Advisory Committee for Religious Education, where she contributed toward the religious education curriculum currently being delivered in all schools in Essex. Subsequently, she visits approximately 120 schools per year around Essex and Havering to deliver assemblies and classroom lessons, teacher training and guidance and staff on religious education and cultural matters. She also hosts visits for schools at places of worship. Additionally, Sidra is part of 2 interfaith forums, which furthers her knowledge in all the faiths and man. And I'll pass you over to our quiz mistress for the evening, Sidra Naeem. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put our mobiles on silent, please, and away for the night. I do not want any cheating, no Googling, no Alexa, no, what's the other one? Siri. Okay, you can discuss answers within your own groups, but not with each other across tables, because that will only give them a point. Okay? All of you have got a grid in front of you, like this, and it's a number quiz today. We've done other types of quizzes before, but this is a number quiz. So every question that I ask you will have a number answer. Some of those numbers are answers to the questions that I'm going to ask you. We are going to be looking at 8 different faiths, okay, including humanism as well. You have got experts on your table from each religion, and those experts will be able to help you in the religion that you don't know very much about. So hopefully you're sitting on a table that you don't know very much about. Okay? This paper here is a very important one. This is where your answers will go first. And this is what I will use to mark your answers. Okay? So you put your numbers next to the number and then you tick it off the grid. Okay? If you can think of a team name for your team, and write the team name down now on your sheets, okay? In capital letters, because I can never ever read the names of the teams afterwards. Okay, so let's do that next. Right. Once your team name is up, we can begin. Are we ready? Who's not got a team name yet? You've got a team name? Yes? The charismatic Christians. The motivational Muslims. The sensational Sikhs. I'm coming up with all the words for you. The brilliant Baha'is.
Now, Linda already made a name. So
that's fine, I'm just having a laugh. You can choose whatever name you want. Right, are we ready, everybody?
Yeah.
So, number 1. How many beads are there on a third length Islamic prayer beads? A third length. So full length you can get. Some of you came earlier and I very clearly said to have a look at the artifacts on the side, because all the answers to today's quiz are over there in the artifacts. Okay, and the beads are there as well. Okay. You can't count, by the way, because they're not the right number anyway to begin with. Okay. Right, are we ready to move on? Yes? Number 2. Shabbat, the day of rest, is the holiday that is celebrated by Jews every week. There are how many rules of what they are not allowed to do on Shabbat? There's a number there, and you need to try and think about it. That number is definitely on that grid. Okay. You can have a guess. You don't have to know. Okay, number 3. How many spokes does a Buddhist wheel have? I'm looking at Lakvi because he was actually looking at it earlier, and I had to keep a straight face. How many spokes does a Buddhist wheel have? Okay, are we ready to move on? Number 4. Now, which year are we in at the moment in the Baha'i calendar? Is it 201? Is it 179? Is it 1444? Or is it 2022? And it's the last 2 numbers that you will look for on your grid to the right answer. The last 2 numbers in red is what you will look for on your grid. Okay? Which year are we in at the moment in the Baha'i calendar? Okay? Okay, we're on to number 5. Charles Bradlaugh, now this is actually a humanist question, had to fight 5 elections before being accepted as an MP because he wanted to affirm rather than take the religious oath of allegiance. Which decade was this in the 1800s? Was it 1850? Was it 1870? Was it 1880? Or was it 1860? And again, it's the last 2 numbers that you need to look for. A lot of blank faces in this one. This is a humanist question, or atheism. Some of you know it as atheism, including everybody. Okay, next question. How many points are there on the pagan symbol? So the pagan symbol of faith, how many points are there? And the points gives you a clue on what kind of shape it might be. Okay, should we move on? Okay. Number 7. How many fish did Jesus feed the crowds with? This is a Christianity question. I'm sure you discuss before you scribble off together, in case some people are taking over. Did you? Yes. Right. Number 8. How many human gurus are there in the Sikh religion? Ready? Number 9. How many times do Muslims need to do pilgrimage? This is the obligatory number that Muslims need to do pilgrimage. That's an easy peasy one, isn't it? Number 10. I want you to listen to this. Right, I put that on because that is some religious, speaking from the religious text of Hindus. And my question linked with that is, how many original Vedas are there in Hinduism? That is actually linked with what you just heard. Look at me, I'm not telling you. I can't show you what it is. Right, number 11. How many foods are placed on a Jewish Sidra plate? Some of you have got some interesting faces. How many foods are placed on a Jewish Sidra plate? Right, we're now on number 12. Let's listen to this.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
The question is, the something baskets is one of the earliest sets of Buddhist teachings and forms the standard scripture of the Theravada tradition. The something baskets, and that's a number. Okay, right. Who can give me that answer? You can know what that is and tick that off on your sheets. Okay, number 13. How many major holy days are there in the Baha'i faith? Is there 2? Is there 9? Is there 3? Or is there 4? Which one of those is it? Some numbers are repeated on your grid, by the way, and that's fine because some questions have got lots of numbers. Number 14. In which decade did Roy Jenkins make homosexuality legal in the 1900s? Is it 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s? No shouting out, please. I think it's really important we all listen to each other as well, because it's a joint quiz with a group, not just one person. Right, let's carry on. Number 15. We are more than halfway through now. How many pagan festivals are there per season in the solar calendar? Per season is your clue. Okay. How many pagan festivals are there per season in the solar calendar? Number 16. Jesus fasted for 40 days in Lent. How many hours did he fast per day? How many hours did he fast per day? I'll give you a clue, just looking at the conversation here. He didn't eat much at all. So he didn't need an hour. Right, next question. What is an unlucky number in most cultures but lucky in Sikhism? And I'll give you a really big clue. That number is in here somewhere. Not allowed to tell you, I'm afraid. What is an unlucky number in most cultures but lucky in Sikhism? Funny, aren't I? Right, next question. Number 18. This is tricky. How many times do Muslims wash for prayer per week? Wash for prayer per week. The clue is. I'm actually very pleased with this table. I think they're up for the winners, actually. Definitely. You've got loads right. You've got loads right so far, anyway. Right. I know, and I actually know which team is going to lose as well, but I'm not saying anything. Number 19. In a Hindu marriage, how many times does a couple have to walk around the fire? Do you like my picture? Megan there. many times does a couple have to walk around the fire? Right, let's have a Christianity question. How many candle holders are there on a Christian menorah? Or a candle bearer? I don't know what you call it. Yeah, a Christian one. It's the same in Christianity as well. It's for, you know, when you do the Advent and all of that, the light. I have actually got it here as well to show you afterwards. Okay? Right, are we ready to move on? Number 21. British social survey by the National Centre for Statistics has been taken every year since 1983. In 2017, it showed the percentage of the British population which do not have any religion as, is it 19%, 30%, 52%, or 35%? We're looking at 2017. The percentage of Britain not having a religion, humanism basically. Which one is it out of those four? Linda, are you okay there, Linda? It's quite a mission trying to find the number on the grid, isn't it? But it should get easier as you colour them in. Yeah. Right. Number 22.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
إذا السماء انفطرت وإذا الكواكب انتثرت وإذا البحار
So that is actually a verse from the Quran. Okay? And the question is, how many chapters are in the Quran? How many chapters are there in the Quran? It's the last two numbers of that triple number. Okay? It's a triple number and it's the last two numbers. That was explained at the beginning about triple numbers. But Aisha can explain, can't you? Because you were there. Okay, the last two numbers is what I need on the grid. Remember, please, to keep writing on these sheets because it is these that we will be marking. This is being done for a bonus point at the end, which I will talk about later. Okay? Right, let's move on. Number 23. According to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, how many brothers did Joseph have? How many brothers did he have? According to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, how many brothers did Joseph have?
Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
How many commandments are there in the Jewish faith? The something commandments. Easy peasy, pudding and pie. Stop looking at me like you're really confused. This is a really easy one. The something commandments. Okay, number 25. There are blank articles of faith in Islam. How many articles of faith are there? If you can't find the number, it means that you've probably got another number wrong.
We'll shuffle them around.
However, like I said, it's this that I'm going to go by. It's this sheet that I'm going to go by. We ready to move on? Yes? How many tribes of Israel were there in Judaism? Number 26. That's easy, isn't it?
Yes.
Very easy. But remember the numbers are repeated on there. How many tribes of Israel were there in Judaism? The tribes of Israel came from over here, Jacob. of Israel. There were his twins. Sorry. We'd already written. Okay, quickly move on to number 27. Let's listen to this. Okay. Okay. Baha'is have to say Allahu Akbar, God is all glorious, and that's actually the equivalent to Allahu Akbar in Islam. A certain number of times. How many times? Is it 99? Is it 100? Or is it 95?
Is that ever or in a day?
In a day, in a day, in a day. So it's one of those numbers, and it's equivalent to Allahu Akbar, which is what we say, Muslims say, God is great. It's equivalent to that actually, because I read up about it today.
means all glorious.
Yes, which I've put up there, God is all glorious. A certain number of times, how many times? Okay, are we ready to move on, everybody? Because we're coming up to maybe the last two questions now. Okay, my last, one of the questions is based on this.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق.
Recite in the name of your Lord who created.
خلق الإنسان من علق.
Created man from a clinging substance.
اقرأ وربك الأكرم.
Recite, and your Lord is the most generous.
الذي علم بالقلم.
Who taught by the pen.
علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم.
Taught man that which he knew not.
Okay, that was actually the first couple of verses that were revealed of the Quran when the Quran was first came down. And the question I'm going to ask is that how many years did it take altogether for the whole Quran to be revealed? Was it 13 years, 23 years, 40 years, or 43? Which one is it out of those four?
Last one.
Yeah. Right, I take it you've all got that then, because you're all laughing away, which means you must have written something down. So we'll move on now to the last question. How many days did Moses fast for on the mountain at the time of receiving the something commandments? Okay. If you please put your team names at the back of your grids as well, because there is going to be, you will find out when I go through the grid, there's a pattern I'm looking for on the grid. And that person will get extra point, okay? And if you can please give me your sheets now, I will collect them up. Please do make sure both of your sheets are labelled. Right, okay. Right. Is that everybody's stuff? Right, we're going to now have half an hour break where we can all talk, mix, mingle, eat, okay? Then after that we will come back and the main part really is the answers because that is when we will learn something, okay? There will be something for everybody here to take away with them. I've got, well I won't tell you, it's a surprise, okay? I've got lots of things for everybody here. And a trophy for the winning table as well, okay? Shall we start off with our mayor's table first? Let's have the mayor of Brentford's table to go first because dignitaries always go first. And we will have our Councillor David's table to go first because he's all sitting. So you're behind the Mayor, if you can go and take your food first. Blackbeard, can we have you in the kitchen to make the tea? This is really good. We will give Mrs. Blackbeard a little bit of a rest today. Hello, how are you?
Chick or red bridge or
It's not meat for the video.
sheep
Tuna. Does it look like a tuna?
Oh, okay.
Is that see? Do you know what's in there? Is that tuna? I'm not sure.
Oh, we'll see. It's
I don't mind eating tuna, but I won't eat meat.
so that's what you're
All right, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It spoils it otherwise.
Yeah, it does. So at least we got here, I suppose. It's the main thing, isn't it?
actually we should not. So your number is. But it's not like wrong donor.
Right, okay everybody, we come to the most exciting part of the quiz, which is the answers. This is the part where we will learn the most. If you didn't do very well, it doesn't matter, it means that you will learn more, doesn't it? Okay? Now, you will mark somebody else's sheet, so do pay attention. Because we always, and I remember Latvia was one of them, he actually won one of the quizzes and he was very upset because the person hadn't paid attention and they hadn't marked the sheet properly. So some people here do take it seriously. I know I would if I was paying. So do please pay attention to your sheets and mark them properly. It's 1 mark per answer. There's 29 questions. But some of you will get a chance to get a bonus mark when I show you a certain pattern that should have been formed on the grid. We will find that out in a minute. Right. How many beads are there on a 3rd length Islamic prayer beads, a tasbih, which was there for those of you early comers who came to look at the display? All the answers were in our artifact display. So, what is the answer? Let's ask our Islamic representative.
33.
Correct. 33 is the answer. Okay? 33 is the answer, and the main thing you will look at is your sheets with the numbers on them. That's the best way. I don't think we need to worry about the grids. Okay? Right, number 2. Shabbat, the day of rest, is the holiday that is celebrated by Jews every week. There are blank rules of what they are not allowed to do on Shabbat. Any ideas? Yes, Kay. Yeah, but you've got it there now, haven't you?
And you mustn't ride, mustn't carry money.
Okay, we don't want to count them, we just want the number. Because there's a lot. And if you count them, we'll be here all day.
Yeah, there's quite a lot.
So how many? Do you want to ring Rabbi Reed? Okay, it's actually 39. 39, there's a good answer for you there. Something you've all learned. 39, okay? How many notes, does a Buddhist rule have? I'm going to ask Lakvir this because he had a Buddhist rule in his hand earlier. He was looking at it. 8, correct. Well done. 8 is the answer, and that is a display I did in the school that I worked in, which the children did, and I made a giant Buddhist rule.
There's also one on the seat in front of you. You have to look at it.
Yes, some clever people saw it was right there on your own little sheets that you've got on your. There it is on the representative. Okay, right. Which year are we in at the moment in the Baha'i calendar? And I asked you to write down the last 2 numbers to tick those off. Okay, right, let us ask our Baha'i expert what the year we're in at the moment.
Well, the Baha'i Faith began in 1844 with the Gregorian calendar. This is therefore the year 179. So 79 is the answer.
So 179 is your answer. Okay, and that's actually one of the newest religions here today. So that's why it would have been the earlier date. Okay, it would have been the earlier date. It's one of the newest religions here. Okay. Just a bit of information for you. The Baha'i calendar is also called the Badi calendar because we know Badi Beheshti, don't we?
Yes.
Yes. Because who couldn't come today? Where Badi means unique. It consists of 19 months with 19 days each. The remaining 4 days in a regular year and 5 days in a leap year. The months are actually named after different attributes of God, which is very interesting. Right, let's go over to a humanist question.
4 or 5 days called Ayami.
Yes, I've got that written there as well. Yeah. Okay, Charles Bradlaugh had to fight 5 elections before being accepted as an MP because he wanted to affirm rather than take the religious oath of allegiance. Which decade was this in the 1800s? Was it 1850, 1870, 1880, or 1860? And it was the last 2 numbers I told you to colour on your grid. Any ideas? Pop your hands up if you know. Yes. 1870, did you say? That's not a bad guess because it was actually 1850. So the answer should be 80 on your numbers. 80 should be your answer. Okay, for number 5. This is an easy one. How many points are there on the pagan symbol? Who can tell me what the pagan symbol is, first of all? No? Points. That gives you a clue on what kind. It's a star. It's a star. Okay? It's a 5-pointed star. 5-pointed star is really the answer I'm looking for. 5 is your answer. And each point, did you know, because pagans, they worship, lots and lots of gods, but also gods of nature. So the 5 points represent spirit, air, fire, earth, and water. That's what the 5 points are on that star. You're going to become a pagan one of these days. Every time he's always taking photos of pagan pictures. Right. How many fish did Jesus feed the crowds with? Let's ask Hennis. 2 fish. Good. 2 is the correct answer. 2. 2 is your answer. 2 fish. Okay?
Did we get that?
Does anybody know what this is? What is it called? Do you know?
Well, that's a symbol of Christianity.
Do you know? It's the equalness, which is fish, and that's where that symbol came from. Did you know? Yes, and there's 5 words represented in there, 5 letters in that fish. Right. How many human gurus are there in the Sikh religion? Let's ask Lakbir this.
Sorry.
How many human gurus are there in the Sikh religion? 10. And here they are. Here they are. Mrs. Lakbir, did you get that today?
I got that right.
Good. Thank God for that. She's just as clever as her husband. Right. How many times do Muslims need to do pilgrimage? I'm going to ask my husband this question. One. And yes, we have done it. The answer is 1. And it is one of the 5 pillars. It's the last pillar which completes our faith. And it's the last pillar because normally we would be doing all 4 of these things before we go into pilgrimage. Pilgrimage in a way completes your faith. Okay? And it's required once. You can go more times, but 1 is your answer. Okay, let's listen to our scripture. Okay, and our question was, how many original Vedas are there in Hinduism? Do you know jazz? Because it's quite similar to Hinduism, isn't it? No? SACRE, do you know? Pardon?
I don't know how many.
Okay.
3 maybe.
Okay,
4,
anybody
3, 4.
know that answer? Put your hands up, yes.
I think it's either 7 or 9.
No, it's not. It's 4.
Yeah, that's
It's
3 or 4.
And here they are. Okay, those are the names. It's 4. Okay. Now Muslims actually should know this if you watch Dr. Zakir Naik, because he always talks about the 4 Vedas. Okay. How many foods are placed on a Jewish Seder plate? Let's ask Kay.
5.
5, but there can be 6. It is actually officially 6.
There's normally
Okay.
5.
I have got the answer here. It's these 5 plus there are at least 5 that go on the Seder plate. There's the shank bone, egg, bitter herbs, vegetable, and a sweet paste called harasat. Sorry, many Seder plates also have a 6th bitter herb called hazaret. So I'm going for 6. Right. The blank baskets is one of the earliest sets of Buddhist teachings and forms the standard scripture of the Theravada tradition. Let's listen to it. Okay, put your hand up if you know that answer. How many baskets? There's something baskets. No? Nobody here? No, 3. The answer is the 3 baskets. Okay, 3. How many major holy days are there in the Baha'i faith? Is it 2? Is it 9? Is it 3? Or is it 4? Who can have a guess before I ask John? Not 4?
9.
John?
9.
9. Well done. Whoever put 9. Okay. Do you want to hear that? Nowruz, which is the Baha'i New Year. Ridwan, which is Bahullah's declaration. 9th day of Ridwan, 12th day of Ridwan. Declaration of the Bab, Ascension of Bahullah, Martyrdom of Bab, Birth of Bab, Birth of Bahullah. In which decade did Roy Jenkins make homosexuality legal in the 1900s? Was it 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s? Have a guess. 60s, correct. Well done, Olivia. 60s. Okay. How many pagan festivals are there per season in the solar calendar? Shall we ask him? He's a pagan expert.
3.
Per season.
4.
No, that's too many. 2. 2 is the answer. And here they are. Okay? So we just had Samhain, which was Halloween. We've got the equinoxes in all of them. Winter solstice, which is Christmas coming up. So there's 2 per season. However, officially, however, there are many more. So this is actually the complete pagan calendar, which has got all the festivals on there. Okay, so there's so many. Some are linked with seasons, some are not. Some are linked with births and things like that. Okay? Right. The answer is 2. The answer is 2. Jesus fasted for 40 days in Lent. How many hours did he fast per day? Linda, I haven't asked you anything yet. Are you Linda? Linda?
Well, we don't have things like that in our scriptures. It doesn't say how many hours he fasted per day.
It does in our religion, no? What does it say in our religion? 24. It was a 24-hour fast, which Moses did as well. I'm giving you some information here.
What did he change it to?
Moses, no arguing, please. No arguing. It's too late. Yeah. So, I'm giving you some really good general knowledge here, if you will all listen. Jesus fasted for 24 hours, evening to evening. He followed the Jewish fast, which was also 24 hours, which is what Moses did.
When he sits down.
Well, maybe according to your calendar, but anyway, according to the sun calendar, it's 24 hours, evening to evening. When Islam came, people couldn't keep up with that. Okay, they couldn't keep up with the 24-hour fast. So God had mercy on us and he said, right, you only need to do daylight hours. So we only fast approximately 12 hours from after sunrise to just after sunset. There you go, some knowledge for you. Okay, so the answer is 24. What's the number? Jesus in the desert. Right, what is an unlucky number in most cultures but lucky in Sikhism? Do you know?
We are in 13 one.
Yes, correct, well done. 13 is the answer. There's your lottery ball with 13 on it. Yeah. 13 is the answer.
I think Sidra, 13 is supposed to be unlucky because that's the number
But some
of present
people are unlucky, yeah.
Yes, it's unlucky for most cultures, but lucky for Sikh. Right. How many times do Muslims wash for prayer per week? Let's ask you. 35, correct. Well done. Zainab is our youngest quiz player here today. How old are you? 12 or 13? 12. She's quite talented, that one. Okay, now we're basing that on our 5 times prayer, for which we normally would wash ourselves. And if you count the fact that we pray 5 times a day, and then multiply that by 7, which is 7 days in a week, we should get 35. How, in Hinduism, in a Hindu marriage, how many times does a couple have to walk around the fire?
It's a 2 different type of relation. One is 4, one is 7. I don't know which one is right.
It's actually 7 for Hinduism.
Yeah, it's
Who's
4.
heard in Punjabi or Urdu Saat Pere? Saat Pere.
No, because
Bollywood films?
Sidra is the same as the Jewish religion, it's right, walk around 7 times.
Is it? Okay.
yeah, some,
So it's
I don't know,
7.
sometimes that 3 goes boys first, then the 4th one goes girl in Hinduism. Sometimes it's 4 goes, I don't know.
Okay, well, according to Sidra's tradition, it's 7. Okay, so your answer is 7.
Sikhism only 4.
No, the answer is 7, and that's it. Okay. 7 times around the fire.
We got it right.
Okay. Right. Next question: how many candle holders are there on a Christian menorah? And we have got one here. Those of you who came early. This is the one in Christianity as well. It's the 7 point, okay? Right. British Social Survey by the National Centre for Statistics has been taken every year since 1983. In 2017, it showed the percentage of the British population which do not have any religion as, this is a humanist question, 19%, 30%, 52%, or 35%. Any ideas? 30.
I reckon 52.
Correct, it's 52.
Because there was something about the majority.
And it's actually higher now.
Yeah.
It's much higher now. 52% it was in 2017.
Yeah, we got wrong.
Okay.
But I'm sure
Okay, let's listen.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
إذا السماء انفطرت وإذا الكواكب انتثرت وإذا
That was a little bit of the Quran. How many chapters are in the Quran? It's actually 114. Okay? And it was 14, which is the number that you needed to colour on your grid. Okay? So 14 is the answer, but it's actually 114. Okay? And here they are. This is how they were revealed in order, which is actually a very, very interesting chart. It's how the chapters were revealed in chronological order. Okay? The next one is actually across the board for Judaism, Christianity and Islam, the same story. How many brothers did Joseph have? Yes, Dean, did you answer? Correct, well done. Sorry, I've been missing out Dean here. It is actually 11. Okay, 11 brothers. And it's 11 stars he saw in his dream, and they were the 11 brothers. Okay, well done, Dean. Excellent. How many commandments are there in the Jewish faith? 10. 10 commandments. The 10 commandments, the film, the 10 commandments. Okay? There are blank articles of faith in Islam. It makes me cringe when Muslims get this wrong. I think Jasmine got it right. No. It's 7.
Yes, I got
It's 7. And here they are. Belief in God, belief in angels, belief in all his prophets, belief in his revealed books, belief in the day of judgment, belief that all good and bad is from Allah, that is destiny, and then life after death. Okay? 7. 7, and it's called Imani Mufassal, which is the declaration of the Islamic faith. You cannot be Muslim if you don't believe this. Okay? Right. How many tribes of Israel were there in Judaism? Kay, do you know this? Yes or no? Kay, how many tribes of Israel were there? Okay, who knows this? Because this is correct. Well done. It is 12. And here are some of his sons. So Jacob had Judah, Joseph, Benjamin, and then 9 other sons. So there was actually 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? Okay. This is what we played earlier. It's 95 times. Okay, so Baha'is have to say Allahu Akbar. God is all glorious a certain number of times. How many times? This is a little bit like the tasbih. You know, like we have Allahu Akbar, tasbih like that. So it's 95. Some of you may have written 99, which is similar to Islam, isn't it? Al-tasbih is 99, or even 100 as well. Okay, this is the first verse of the Quran that was revealed. We won't listen to this again. And I asked you, in how many years was the Quran completed? Was it 13, 23, 40 or 43? Put your hand up if you know this answer. Yes?
23.
Well done, it is 23. Excellent, 23 years. Okay, well done. Right, last question. How many days did Moses fast for on the mountain? It was a 24-hour fast. How many days did he fast for? Linda, do you know this? 40. Correct, well done. It is 40. It's 40. 40 days. Okay? Right. This is your answers. 1 point each. I want you to add them up and put them at the bottom, just above the 29. Okay? Okay, please keep your sheets. Do not give them to any other table. Okay? Keep the sheets with you. And put your total score down. Right. The pattern on your grid should be this. Okay? So, all the red numbers are the ones that were not used, and it comes at like a kiss sign. I'm not saying cross because it's not a cross, it's like a kiss sign. And that corner, there's an unlucky number 13 in that corner, which spoils the pattern. Can you see? Each corner has a square, yes? But that corner's got an unlucky 13, which means that square is not correct. If you have got this pattern on the grid you are looking at, that team gets an extra point. What's that? That's just everything you just crossed out. That's cheating. So, if you've got this pattern in your grid, can you give that team an extra point, please? Okay, we're going to find the winner now. Who can tell me if the team's stuff that you've got on your table has got above 25 points? Please look carefully. I do not want any arguing afterwards. The amount of times that people have won and then they don't win because you're not looking at the sheets properly. Look at your sheets. Okay, who has got between 20 and 25 points?
Romford runner, 22.
22 for the Romford runners. Yes?
The not so good with number team has got 22.
22 and 22, what's the other one? Okay, so there's two 22, so it's a tie. And I haven't got a trophy. So, it's a tiebreaker. So, listen carefully. I am going to give you a question, okay? It is an Islamic one, listen carefully. It's an Islamic question. So out of the two Islamic representatives, the first one to shout out the answer will win. If any of you know it, just shout it out. And out of you four, if anybody knows, just shout it out when I ask the question. That person will then win. Okay? Right, are we ready? I'm not going to repeat myself. Okay? Nobody else is allowed to shout out. Right. I'm about to bang my head against that wall. Honestly, it's like men and children in here, isn't it? Right. The question is, in Islam, what is the average age when a prophet becomes a prophet? He said it, 40. Really? This team's winner. Team leader, Penny, come to the front. Let's give her a trophy. Give her a big clap. And if we can, everybody in that team come forward because you came first. Okay? Well done. Thank you. And I've got certificate as well for you. I just need to get this sorted. Right, let's put your medals on for you. There you go, well done. I will give you your certificates in a minute. Well done. Lucky he wore his military shirt for the occasion.
Lucky shirt.
Lucky shirt. Get these out. If somebody can take a photo of the winners, please. That's right. Our second winners were over there. So you can come forward and get your medals. And you have got silver medals. Who's the leader of your team? And you can
Keep seeking.
You can take this plastic stuff before you put them on. That would be great.
Thank you. You're very generous.
That's what they all say.
No, that's cheap. Not fair. Right. Can we have a photo, please? Some of the second team. Let me just give out the certificates.
Did you give Sarah?
Let's add it on. And then the next one.
Let's give out the certificates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're unlucky. You didn't have a smile free. So you didn't have a Hindu.
No.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Zainab. You're very useful. Right, we got to find the third winner now. The third one will get bronze medals. Okay. So, you can tell me who has got from 15 to 22 points.
How many? We got 17.
17. What's the name?
Knowledge seekers.
Knowledge seekers. What was it again?
17.
17. What's your one? 16? 19. What's 19? Who are they? Muslim? Muslim brain boxes have come third, everybody. Well done. And if you can come to the front and get your bronze medals. Are you filming?
We put it on the YouTube channel.
Hey, your mom, you got yours as well? That's yours. And if we can have a photo over here, Zainab, please. Photo of these two. Who doesn't want to come? Okay, if the rest of you now can come forward and get your certificates, that would be really great. And then we will have one big group. Well done. You can write your name.
That's your turn. Now you gotta go.
There you go. Right, anybody else? Come and get your certificates.
You guys have to give us.
Yeah, I'll give you one later. You can hold that. I'll give you one later.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Okay.
Here's one as well. Is that one I can put that later? Oh, there you go. Yeah, take the photo then. I'll go in the middle, shall I? Yeah, come on over here. Have we got, oh yeah, you've got a Miss second prize, didn't you? Lucky you. She beat you this time, your wife did. Okay, right, can we have everybody please, including the first, second and third prize winners with their medals? With your certificates please, and your trophy. And we'll have Linda in the middle. Penny, sorry, Penny in the middle. You should go first. Oh, yeah. Gosh, this. Brilliant. Let's give everyone a big clap. That was fun, wasn't it? It's okay, we're finished now anyway. But thank you so much. We can just sit back and have some final words quickly.
Are we allowed to go?
Yeah.
Not yet. I know some final words.
You stay there.
Thanks to everybody for attending, and Mayor Olivia and Councillor David Taylor for coming, and all the guests and all the participants. It's been very nice. And a special thanks to Sidra for all the hard work and organising this fun evening for us. I was pleased I got more than 50% right. 19 out of 29, so I'm pleased. And the next meeting for Interfaith lectures and questions and answers afterwards with food will be at the YMCA, 7 p.m. It's on the subject of organ donation and what our particular faith we're representing, what the view is or what the stance is of the faith on organ donation. And this will be on the 11th of January next year. Any final words?
That's it, really.
Just good night, have a safe journey home, and God bless everyone.
And well done to the winners.
Well done.